Okay, good day everybody, and we're back. We're doing today another tutorial. This one's gonna be on multicam editing in Final Cut Pro, which is really fun. So let's just roll that intro and get right into this. So firstly, multicam editing is an essential skill to know, especially when you're working with more than one camera, multi-camera, of course. So what we're going to be learning today is how to edit multicam videos, so how to work with angles, how to use different audio sources on different clips, and really how to put it together so it makes it much more easy and seamless. Instead of having to have two camera files run on top of each other, and instead of then editing and blade cutting at certain points to get an angle here, an angle there. This one is just easy. Literally with a click of a button, you can change the angle. So let's just jump right into this. Let's just hop over to the computer screen and let's just see what this is. You open Final Cut Pro, of course. So how I like to do my multicam editing, especially if I'm doing a lot of interviews, is easy. So here on my sidebar, I have something that says sync me, and each person's names, and then I did an interview with somebody called Danny, and it was an experience video talking about the experience and so on like that. So that's done. That's in multicam, and you can see, and when it's in multicam, I put Danny experience done. So I know that it was edited, it was compiled into multicam, and it's done. And then I can keep working on until I sync all the interviews that I have to get done. So let's just do one. This is sync me. Okay. So first, what you have to do is select all the files that you want to have selected. So what I do is I put everything into one whole event, and that I usually call that event everything. And then what I do from there is, so I take the three clips. I use two cameras and then my external recorder. So I take those three clips, select them all, and move them into another event called sync me with whoever I'm doing the interview with, and whatever the interview topic is about, if I have many interviews. So this one's called Sync Me and Lisa Productivity. So first things first, they're all selected. So what I'm going to do is right click and right here, new multicam clip. And then I call it something, Elisa Pro multicam. There we go. And I'll just leave it in Sync Me and Lisa, because then I can just change the name. Okay, so now it's done. So next what you have to do is, of course, create a project file. So all my interview project files, I always put them in here so it's nice and organized. So when I need them, I can just go in here, get the project file, and then add it into the main movie clip that I'm creating. So we'll do new project. This is Elisa's Pro video. And it goes in there. You for multi-cam clips, you don't really want to be changing the frame rates, as that can really affect all the other clips. So you want to stick it at the default frame rate that you're recording in. So 23.98, 1080p, 1920 by 1080. So you click OK. So one thing I want to show you is all the kind of work that Final Cut does behind the scenes. So if you double click that, you can see all the work that Final Cut did. So I have my Zoom, which is my external recorder, putting the audio. So it's right there. And then I have camera 1, camera 2, and right here you can see like a little gap because one camera wasn't started at the same time. So that's what's great about it. It's doing that whole cutting where to kind of like get it fully synchronized, which is really great. And now if I go back, so don't mind the exposure on this. We're doing a reshoot on this, but as you can see, I can just.
So the Spinning Wheel site is a site where I produce blogs, and I also produce vlogs.
Okay, so this is the audio directly from the Sony camera. Now imagine she had a lapel mic, or I want to use a boom that I have, or my external recorder. This is if you sync the audios with all this, you can select the active audio. So here I want to put my Zoom as my active audio. It changes that.
Vlogs will carry more of a
Okay, so now the Zoom is there.
thought of what it is.
That's how you can select the different audios. So where you're further away from them and they only had a lapel mic, so then you can switch to the lapel mic audio. Or if you're sitting down with them, you can switch to Zoom audio. So this is what it's really great about it. Instead of having to drag it from your event and then putting it in there, you can select it all in here. So let's just say I want to do a new angle here. I can go to View, click Angles, and here I can see my two angles. So I can just select this one, and bam, instantly switches it. So instantly switched it, but now what's wrong is it has the camera audio. So I can just go back here, click on zoom,
challenging those norms,
and there we go.
and seeing what we could do and make
It has the audio that it needs. You just need to know a few things. First is be very organized in this, especially if you have a lot of interviews. Be super organized. Put them all in different events. Name them correctly. Know the ones you synced and you haven't synced. If they're all in one event, you can just do select all, multicam clip, that's it. Instead of having everything in one event and then selecting and making sure you don't select nothing else when you're selecting the other proper ones, here just put the ones you want to have in a multicam clip into their own separate event. Okay, that's one of like tip number 1. Tip number 2 is really play around with the audio files, especially if you're moving angles. You can have different audio sources and you can select them in and out. So that's really great on that. And really tip number 3 is, there's no other tips. That's really it. That's multicam editing at its finest. Especially when you start working with more cameras, like having 5 cameras, different audio sources, it looks really cool. Especially when you go into your angle dashboard, you just have everything there. It's like you're like a tech genius, and you have all the screens around you, being like, oh yes, this is happening here, this is happening here, this is happening here. You feel like a maestro at editing. So that's really great about it. But anyways, this tutorial is done. Hopefully it was nice, quick, short, and you guys really learn kind of like the basics of multicam editing. There's much more advanced things you need to know, but this is the basics and get you started. But anyways, if you liked it, please hit the like button. Comment if you have any questions. Subscribe to stay updated. And of course, share this out to keep growing the community. And as always, let's stay savvy. We're out.